We're back with another video. Today we have another episode of the E92 M3. In the previous video, we got to diagnose what was actually wrong with this car and why it had thrown a belt in the first place. This is the old pulley, and if you can see, it is completely mangled and it's not savable anymore. It wobbles when it's inside the car and it's going to cause more and more issues. So I was able to order a replacement from ESS Tuning and it looks way better. We had fixed it and everything was running smooth, but I did not trust this idler pulley from ESS kit. It's completely warped, and if you look at it spin, it's hard to see maybe on camera, but in person you can see that this thing is lopsided and it spins terribly. So I ordered a bearing to replace it, and no matter what, the bearing was not enough. The actual pulley itself was warped. I don't feel safe and comfortable running this, especially with how high RPM this is going to be at. This was $155 from ESS Tuning. The actual quality of the part is so much nicer than this, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap this out and we'll be back with hopefully a positive update on the car. It's in the car, the belt is on, and we're gonna take it for a little test drive, go take some pictures of this thing, and then most likely probably get this thing listed up for sale, just because it's not a car that I plan on keeping for a long time. So we have this replaced. Let's go take it for a quick drive and let's get some pictures of this car. We have the E92 M3 out in the wild. We just took some good pictures of this car, got the best angles that I think would show off this car to the best of its ability. I'm not gonna lie, it does look amazing sitting here. This car is a beautiful car. It's just, this thing has absolutely no torque. I did a little bit of a pull, a little bit of driving, not much off camera, just to make sure that everything was solid and everything was staying together. But this car has absolutely no torque, and there's a problem I'm facing where I'm not hearing any blow off. So I can't tell if this car is having a boost leak and it's not making the proper boost, and maybe that's also why it feels so slow, or it has the stock Vortec blow off valve, and I know everyone upgrades to tile. So maybe I'm either having a bad blow off valve, which is not making the correct boost or the pressure, and that's why I'm not hearing it, and that's why the car is slow. Or there really is a problem and I'm supposed to be hearing that blow off. So let me know down below if you have a ESS E92 625 kit with the Vortec. Is there blow off? Is there not? You can slightly hear it, but it's not anything crazy. Like all the videos I hear are blow off and all types of noises coming from this thing. It's super loud, it's hard to miss. So maybe I have something wrong with my car, or maybe it's just the blow off valve I have. Let me know down below. I'm definitely interested in what you guys have to say about that. But man, this car does look good out here. We'll get a little bit of a 360. Damn, it's perfect time for this car. This car looks beautiful. We all know it's not. It looks very rough. But hey, from about 5 or 10 feet, it does look absolutely stunning. It sounds amazing. But yeah, I don't see myself holding this car for much longer. I would rather trade for an E39 M5 plus some cash, or maybe an M2, M4, another F80, just something that hopefully can get me out of this and get somebody else that actually wants this car and wants to keep this, put the money into it, put the work into it, and make this car absolutely amazing and a killer car. Me, I don't see myself holding this. It's not the car I expected it to be, and I'm a little bit salty, got a bad taste in my mouth about how the trade went down. So I'm looking to get into something else and hopefully trade up to something slightly more valuable than this, and hopefully maybe get some money out of it, hopefully get my money back is what I was supposed to get for my F80. But other than that, let's get in the car and let's hit a little bit of driving, get some exhaust clips. I'm not gonna go too far. I don't trust this car yet, but let's get in and let's get a little bit of a sound clip. I'm still getting used to this car as well, so that is a factor. Only thing about this, clutch feels so much better than my F80. This feels incredibly slow. I understand that these cars make no torque, and honestly, it feels dog shit slow. But when you look down at the speedometer, it is climbing pretty steadily and it's getting up there pretty quick. I know these cars basically are just completely made for revving out with not having the torque. Even with the ESS kit, this car does not even make 400 torque. So I'm pretty sure that this car is up to par. It's just coming from the F80, and that's my daily driver and has been for, I don't know, 2 years. Driving this thing feels so incredibly slow. It feels like you're not moving, but I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm used to F80 torque. Those cars probably make like 450 to the wheel stock, and they hit hard immediately down low at like 2,000 RPM. So I'm pretty sure I'm just used to a faster car. And even with an ESS kit, it's not enough to help this. One thing you can't beat is the sound, though. This is absolutely insane of a sounding exhaust. This is by far the best exhaust setup I've heard on one of these. It is stupid loud, but it sounds absolutely amazing. If I ever keep this car or get one, 100% keeping this exhaust setup or getting it back. We are back home and just verifying that the belt is actually on. There's nothing being stripped, there's nothing in the wrong place, but you can see actually I thought we were gonna need a smaller belt. Also, a thing that could be possibly an issue is belt slip. This belt seems to be doing great, and honestly I've never had one of these Supercharger kits, so I can't even tell you what belt slip would feel like. It kind of sort of feels like the tires are spinning, but it doesn't. So I could also be experiencing maybe some belt slip. I have this belt on that came from ESS, and people are saying that it actually isn't the best, and you could feel it is super hot and it's getting sticky, but there seems to be no problem with the ribs, no problem with anything shredding off of the side. I do have another belt in my trunk that seems way better than this. This is the actual ESS one they sell on their website, which is taxed because it was like $80 to get it shipped to my door. But if you come over here from FCP Euro, I have the Porsche belt from Continental that seems to be a way better belt. It has more scaly on this side and the ribs seem way nicer. We might possibly have to switch over to the Continental belt. I don't think it's an issue, but it's 3 millimeters shorter and it seems to be way more durable and better material. So possibly I am experiencing some belt slip. So maybe you guys can comment down below and chime in and tell me, but who knows, maybe I'm just tripping and this car is actually doing completely fine. And just like that, the car is back, tucked away in the garage and parked. I do want to put some more miles on this thing, but I am very afraid of that belt. I don't think it's going to be giving me any more issues, but just in case, I got the spare one in the trunk, and I've been rolling around with a ratchet and a socket in case something on the side of the road happens. Crossing my fingers, I hope it's not. It seems to be in a much better position and a lot safer now, but I'm going to put this car through a couple little more small paces before we go for a longer drive. It has insurance on it now, and I'll get a permit for it, so everything will be good. The last part we were waiting for came. It was that coolant line, but it hasn't seemed to be leaking under pressure or leaving anything while the car has been parked. So I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and replace it. I have it there if it's needed, but I don't want to change that and drain all that coolant out for nothing. One thing I did notice is that when I moved the car out today, there was some oil on the ground. So let me pop the hood and let's try to pinpoint where it's coming from and maybe possibly show you under the car and get a better look. It has been a few hours since we drove this car, and this is still hot, burned to the touch. God damn, this thing stays hot. When it gets a little cooler, I'll check the reservoir for the manifold and make sure that it has the right amount of coolant in there. I've been watching the actual reservoir for the car, and it's been staying topped up. There hasn't been anything leaking. That is the line. Very hard to see. I'll turn flash on in a second, but this belt is actually very tight. The coolant reservoir has been staying topped up, so I'll check that when I get a minute and it's cooler. I don't want to open it yet. I was able to put a clamp onto this throttle body right there. So now that actually has a clamp on it, and we should be okay. But I didn't even know that these were coming from Vortec, and I thought obviously it's ESS, so maybe I'll have to see and do some research on switching to a tile blow-off valve. Maybe that will give me the sound I'm looking for, or the sound that I think is missing, and these just actually don't have it. Again, somebody else will have to let me know in the comment section. But now let's go into the car and see that little oil. When I first noticed it, it was a little alarming seeing how much that came out. Let me show you guys. We do have that little drop coming out. It looks to be coming directly straight from the little oil hatch, so maybe the drain plug is dripping, or maybe the oil pan gasket. One of those is leaking. It was a little alarming when I first pulled it off, or moved the car back I should say, and I did see a couple little drops. It was more than it should be, but it also has been sitting here for, I don't know, maybe a week or two, so it really hasn't been moving. So that's just one more thing, I guess, to keep an eye out for, and something we'll have to pay attention to. That is about it for the E92 today. I wanted to do a longer drive and get some more footage of this car, but again, I'm just afraid of that belt. I want to take it around some more small little drives before I, risk it and take one of those bigger, longer drives. But it's about it for today's video. I wish it would have been longer. I wish we had more content for you. We will be coming back very soon, very, very, very soon in the next few days with some more of the Project 540, getting that thing repaired. And we are looking for a bunch of more part out cars, or cheaper cars to fix, so stay on the lookout for those. We want to bring some more projects to the channel, whether we just flip them, part them out, back to the good old days with the boys doing a bunch of random stuff and getting these cars in and out. So this car most likely will be for sale or up for trade. So if anybody is interested from the audience, or one of the supporter, one of you guys are interested, let me know down below. Shoot me an offer, shoot me a trade. I want E39 M5, E46 M3, both of those plus cash, or I would love N55 M2 or M4. One of those cars. I haven't had either one of those yet, and I would like to experience one of them. But that's about it for this video. This thing sounds absolutely insane. We got the last part we basically needed, but now we're finding out we need more. So that's going to end it here for today. It was a shorter episode, but I appreciate you guys for staying tuned. I appreciate you guys for the support and the following. We'll come back to you real soon and get some more content. But later, guys, I appreciate you. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Later, guys.